Hello and welcome to this Global Data and Oximio podcast. My name is Alexander Love and I'm a senior editor for GlobalData. The global clinical trials market is growing rapidly and is projected to reach an impressive $101.5 billion by 2030. Focusing in on Israel, recent figures from Grandview Horizon show that the clinical trial supply and logistics market in Israel is projected to reach $15.4 million by 2030, growing at a healthy compound annual growth rate of 6.5% from 2024 to 2030. Looking at healthcare, GlobalData forecast that healthcare spending in Israel grew by 5.1% in 2025 and is set to grow, according to forecasts, by 6% in 2026 to reach an estimated $53 billion in 2026. Healthcare spending per capita was estimated at $5,065 in 2025 and is expected to rise to $5,298 in 2026. On the pharmaceutical side, sales were forecast to grow by 3.7% to 6% in 2025, and a range of 3.6% to 5% growth in 2026 to reach $6 billion. Today, I am joined by Zayheda Khan, who is Chief Commercial Officer at Oximio, and Stanislav Liakhovski, who is Responsible Pharmacist and QP of Oximio Israel. Hello to both of you.
Hello.
Hi.
So Oximio is a global provider of supply chain solutions for clinical trials with more than 20 years of experience supporting studies around the world. The company operates wholly owned locations across North America, Europe, MENA, and Africa, and is further strengthened by a trusted global partner network spanning the rest of the world. Today, we are taking a deep dive into Israel. As the figures suggest, the country has a robust and growing clinical trials ecosystem. Today, we're going to explore why Israel is such an attractive hub for clinical trials. So let's jump straight in. From the figures above, we can see that Israel is a popular location when it comes to running clinical trials. Why would you say this is, Zayheda?
Thank you, Alex. And first of all, delighted to participate and have the opportunity to share some information from ourselves at Oximio on what makes Israel such a popular destination and location for clinical trials. In answer to your question, there are many reasons. Putting together a powerful combination that Israel has to offer is a combination innovation, expertise, and also supportive regulation. The country itself has world-class research institutions, strong academic networks, and advanced medical facilities. It is one of the most advanced healthcare. It does have one of the most advanced healthcare systems in the world. The institutes and the healthcare facilities are really exceptional and operate to the highest of standards that can be met globally. This obviously creates an environment where pharmaceutical and biotech companies can efficiently carry out high quality clinical research. The figures that you mentioned just show just how active and robust the landscape is and continues to be as we grow into the year-on-year data that is actually received, and sponsors can appreciate the scientific excellence. We also have a very stable population that we can see in Israel. And also in addition to that, then that also feeds into high patient retention.
Yes, the standard of care and medical facilities are of particular high caliber in Israel. You mentioned Israel's population. Can you tell us a bit more about it, please? How does the population and healthcare system give Israel an advantage in clinical trials?
Yes, of course. Israel has a population of over 9.5 million people. It's very diverse and offers broad representation of patient recruitment. The national health insurance covers the entire population. So this actually means that medical histories are also well documented and highly traceable. The population remains steady, patient retention is high due to lack of movement of people to either different regions or different locations. A recent report by the Central Bureau of Statistics predicts that in the next 20 years, the elderly population in Israel is set to expand by 77%, with the number of over 65s accounting for 14.3% of the population by 2040 and 15.3% by 2065. Declining fertility rates, an increase in life expectancy, and also the high immigration rates of older people all play a part in these demographic trends. On the back of this, it's also anticipated that the Israeli pharmaceutical market will see a growth because of the increasing burden on some chronic diseases.
Thank you, Zayheda. Moving forward, can we talk about the clinical trial landscape itself? How would you describe it at the moment?
At the moment, it's extremely vibrant, and although COVID-19 disrupted numbers, not only in Israel, but globally, we've seen a strong rebound, as you highlighted in some of your numbers in your introduction. Again, according to some latest published figures from the Observatory of Economic Complexity, in 2023, Israel exported over $2.16 billion of pharmaceutical products, and the main destination of those products was the US, Germany, UK, Austria, and Canada. This growth is fueled by Israel's strong research and development industry and an expansion of life sciences sector across biotech, medical devices, telemedicine, and pharmacy. Again, Israel's a high-tech and innovation hub, and the country is a home to over 1,400 life science companies and over 40 plus multinational pharma. It offers access to innovative technologies and also high caliber collaborations with global impact. And all of these obviously give an additional credibility to the clinical trial landscape within Israel.
Yeah, I mean, these are strong figures. What therapeutic areas are seeing the most research activity?
Mm-hmm. We're seeing research and development across a wide range of therapies. However, as always, and in most locations and countries and regions, oncology is by far the largest, with over 500 active oncology trials taking place. After that, there's all the other therapeutic indications: cardiovascular, gastrointestinal, central nervous system, immunology, metabolic disorders, and women's disorders across infertility, labor, and preeclampsia. And that's just to obviously just give the headline therapeutic indications, but there are also tailor-made clinical trials, tailor-made medicines that also are at the forefront of the research and development. So this is where cell and gene therapy is another area which is continuing to show growth. We can see this firsthand, for instance, especially within oncology. Most cases are for blood cancer, but there are also promising trials underway targeting solid tumours. These potential treatments and developments for oncology and also other areas also see this increase in this autoimmune space. Whilst this major growth also represents another further opportunity, it also can be faced with a logistical challenge, unlike any other small molecule that we can handle in healthcare. Within cell and gene therapy and also this biological space, there are no second chances. So the success or failure of a treatment can quite easily rest on logistics. It's a very time critical and complex process. The products are very highly sensitive due to the nature of the materials, and these treatments are very personalized to the patient, and therefore they can require very bespoke logistic solutions. Just even getting the products from simply A to B are under strict temperature regimes and also time frames. And also then there's the regulatory compliance aspects as well, which also have to be taken care of. So in addition to all of these elements, Israel is building up to be a very diverse and have a very rich advanced research landscape.
With all the research being undertaken within the country, how does Israel's regulatory framework support sponsors and CROs?
It's a good question. Israel offers a very favorable regulatory and business environment. The government itself really promote the clinical research and the regulatory framework within the country. The government provides grants, fundings, tax incentives to encourage the clinical research, and is really committed to promoting and furthering clinical research while ensuring patient safety and the ethical standards are maintained at all costs. Regulatory pathways are very clear, and the Ministry of Health in the country is very highly collaborative. So this really gives a huge advantage, for example, when in an IMP and investigational medicinal products licenses are required. Most exported drugs do not require an export license. So this therefore simplifies logistics significantly, cutting down all the administrative time and paperwork that is really required. In addition, the MOH also has a centralized national database of the clinical studies, which also again creates transparency and speeds up decisions that are required for the sponsors. When we talk about, again, the number of clinical trials, one of the biggest questions sponsors ask is how fast can we actually complete a study startup in the country? And globally, there are many big differences with regards to these timelines. But with regards to Israel in particular, the approval can take between 60 to 70 days, which is actually very, very speedy compared to some other countries across the world. Because of these shorter setup timelines, the speed also comes from several things. The centralized healthcare system, like I indicated, a streamlined ethical and regulatory review process, which also then boosts very strong patient recruitment. And the result is that the country then sits very comfortably in the top tier worldwide for clinical trial startup efficiency. And this is why it's a major reason why global sponsors are choosing to run studies in Israel. At a conference recently, it's always very much a hot topic. One of our team was talking to medical centers, for example, who had successfully managed to reduce the timelines to just a few days because they had pre-approved the site for specific trial parameters, and therefore allowing us to initiate studies much more efficiently and much speedier within the country.
Thank you. That's really interesting information. I'd like to turn to you, Stas, now next. So, being on the ground in Israel, perhaps we can talk about geography and logistics. What does this mean for sponsors, and what are the benefits in Israel?
Hi, yeah, Israel has a small but very well-connected footprint. It's easy to move around with excellent transportation links. The whole area from the north to south takes about 6 hours to cross by road. With major airports, strong road networks, and close proximity between research hubs, sponsors can access multiple trial sites quickly and efficiently. Our international airport infrastructure plays a critical role in supporting clinical trial logistics. The high level of connectivity and operational efficiency is especially vital when managing time-sensitive studies, where speed and reliability are essential. Oximio's Israel depot is situated in north-central part of the country. At the maximum, we have great coverage and can generally get to any point within 2 short hours, so logistics are very agile, and on the whole, most sites are within an hour.
That's a huge advantage. As we look to the future, what are the opportunities? Israel is a global leader in innovation. I mean, how is AI, for example, shaping the clinical research environment?
AI is one of Israel's fastest growing sectors. There are over 200 AI healthcare startups, with many of these based in Tel Aviv. These companies are driving breakthroughs such as AI-assisted diagnostics, early disease detection, personalized medicine via genomics, remote monitoring, and even social robotics for elderly care. This innovation makes Israel an ideal environment for clinical trials that involve digital health platforms, imaging algorithms, and AI-enabled therapies. The ecosystem is agile, tech-driven, and accustomed to rapid adoption of new tools. One particularly exciting development we learned about at a recent conference is the use of AI and large-scale data assets to reduce the size of control arms in clinical studies. By leveraging historical clinical trial datasets and real-world evidence, researchers can form synthetic or hybrid control groups. For example, in a diabetes trial, AI tools can analyze past datasets by age, gender, and treatment history to determine what outcomes the control arm would likely produce. This allows researchers to enroll fewer patients into traditional control group. This means that more participants would receive active treatment. Study timelines are shortened because recruitment demands are lower and costs are reduced, which is particularly relevant for complex or long-term studies. While this trend is emerging globally, Israel is particularly well positioned to implement and scale these approaches. Combined with advanced traceability systems and efficient logistics, this contributes to shorter, more cost-effective clinical trials in Israel.
Thank you. Quite an overview there. There's a lot going on. So with such a dynamic clinical trial environment, how does Oximio support sponsors in Israel?
Yeah, so Oximio Israel was established in 2011 and has gained a reliable reputation for providing comprehensive end-to-end supply chain services for clinical trials. We're known for our flexibility and deep understanding of local regulatory pathways. We have a strong, long-standing relationship with the Ministry of Health, which help us to streamline approvals and ensure smooth operations. Our site in Caesarea, as I mentioned previously, is extremely well located and gives us excellent access to national transport routes. We operate our own fleet of vehicles, which enables fast deliveries to hospitals and trial sites. From importation and IMP management to storage, distribution, and site supply, we deliver a full start-to-finish logistics solution.
Great, thank you. In recent times, you and the team have had to manage operations during challenging political moments. How have you managed to maintain your resilience and continuity during these periods of instability?
Yeah. Operating in a region that can experience political turbulence means that resilience isn't just a value, it's a core operational requirement. Throughout periods of unrest, we have remained fully committed to supporting ongoing clinical trials without interruption, always prioritizing the safety of both patients and our staff. We're built robust contingency plans, reinforced operational procedures, and ensured our teams and transport networks stay active and secure. Our clients rely on us during uncertain times, and we take pride in consistently delivering regardless of the external environment. Every day, our teams assess the situation on the ground, reviewing transport routes, site access, and logistics activities to determine the safest and most effective path forward. Safety is always the starting point. If our staff, especially our drivers, aren't protected, we will postpone the delivery until it's safe again, so we can deliver the high-quality service our clients depend on. Despite the instability, our teams have remained fully operational. We secured alternative transport routes, adapted delivery schedules, and maintained active communication with sites and sponsors. Even during the most difficult days, including periods of war, we reached every required location. Our priority was and always is ensuring patients continue receiving their treatments on time while safeguarding the well-being of people making that possible.
Yes, I mean, there is a lot of work required behind the scenes for running of a smooth clinical trial, never mind having to manage the process during times of conflict. So that's a really deep insight into behind the scenes requirements for running a clinical trial in Israel with some great examples. So thank you both for that. And yeah, thank you both for providing some really interesting insights for today about the clinical trial landscape in Israel.
Thank you very much, Alex.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more Oximio content on Global Data channels. You can also find a lot more information about Oximio's services on their website at oximio.com. Until next time, goodbye.